And welcome back to this year's last episode of the Green White Checker podcast. We are, I think, 38 episodes in, 36 points races down, and we finally have a champion. It's me. I won the Survivor pool. Get fucked, guys.
No, no. I won NIS championship. You get fucked, sir.
I won.
I won it years ago.
I won something. I don't know.
Joe did.
But
being cool.
Yeah.
We finally have a Cup Series championship. Our champion. Ryan Blaney.
Woo!
I think kind of surprises us all a little bit. I mean, none of us had him in even our final four. So
no.
Yeah.
Do we even have him in the final 8?
It's a great question.
I don't even know.
Steve, pull that up for us real quick.
Yeah.
I feel like we need someone just in the background.
It doesn't look like it.
Let me see.
I can't find the freaking tab.
I had Byron.
None of us had
Playoffs.
it. We all had him eliminated.
I mean, I'm my bold prediction for the year is that Penske wouldn't make it past the round of 12s.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, we
missed
It
on
was
that.
looking so good.
We might
Looking
not
so
always
good
be
for
right
so
here,
long.
but we're never wrong. So, you know.
If he didn't win Talladega, he would have been out. I think there's some I can take some solace in that, but
Yeah.
he stepped up when he needed to and got that dub.
And I think I saw he was the lowest seeded playoff guy to win in the playoff era at 12. JJ was the previous holder of that at 11. So,
I think all your playoff winners, all championship winners, whatever this weekend, were all underdogs. Like all of them were.
They were.
Oh yeah.
Nowhere all season.
I think I read that none of them would have been top 5 in points.
Yeah.
The old
like if you have the Winston points, yeah.
Yeah. Which is
how,
nuts.
How do we
not
feel
only
about
that, they were all Fords. First on race day, boys.
Yeah.
First on race day.
First on race day.
We shit on Ford every week. It felt like we're just they don't have speed. They they can't compete, and they won all 3 series. So
I said, "JK."
Yeah. I mean, I guess kind of was Zach's question. Like, what are thoughts on that? I mean, do we feel like YRB really deserved that championship?
Yeah, like I mean, as much as we love, and I really did become a Blaney fan this weekend because I never realized how he was always kind of like, man, like kind of mellow to me. Like I didn't hate him or anything, but I just kind of put him in that chase category where I didn't see much of his personality.
Oh yeah.
But they were so focused on him this weekend, and just hearing him like cuss everybody out and all this stuff, like it was awesome. It was like listening to Kyle Busch. I was like, I'm sold. I'm a Blaney fan. This is awesome. Seeing him give the finger out the window.
Yeah.
That is classic Kyle Busch. I don't care what anybody says. I loved it.
Blaney has a personality. Every once in a while, it kind of peeks through. Like you'll see a video online or something like that, or like him and Bub out just like having fun, and it's just
or playing metal music
together. Yeah, they're reined in, kind of like Chase, but yeah.
Well, Penske kind of does that.
I do what I want. Oh, he 100% does it.
Penske's just as bad as Hendrick when it's like comes to keeping everybody
drivers.
Yeah, sucks.
It does.
But yeah, back to the original talking point. Like, how do we feel about NASCAR, especially this weekend with Steve Phelps doing his what do you call it, state of the sport thing, and they're talking about the playoffs and how he doesn't think the playoffs are gimmicky and the best drivers win and this, that, and the other thing. Like as much as I like Blaney now, I kind of have to disagree with that. Like I wouldn't say he was the best driver this year. He showed up when it mattered, which great for him, and they played the system exactly how they should.
Yeah,
but I mean, I just don't know how. Even if Bell would have won this weekend, as big of a Bell fan as I am, I'd have to say he's not. He's in the same situation as Blaney. Like, not really the deserving champion. I would put that at like Byron for getting 6 wins and always being up there all season. What do you guys think?
I'm coming around slightly in the playoff. I still don't like it, especially the one and done championship. But NASCAR wanted so badly to be like stick and ball sports, right? Where they have playoffs, the underdog can win, right? You like the New York Giants, their Super Bowls, right? They beat the undefeated Patriots. Maybe Chase winning in that year when Harvick had 10 wins is kind of similar to that, right? Where everyone, oh, it's Harvick, he's going to win, and then he threw it away. So NASCAR wanted this where you can have the underdog, and the underdog won in all 3 races. So I don't know. I think Blaney's definitely deserving. I like Blaney. I hate that Penske is keeping him down, but of course I wanted William to win. Didn't happen, but I still think he's deserving.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do enjoy the playoffs. I think there's obviously some cons to it. I think that I think it's kind of weird with obviously Blaney. What he had, how many top 5s? Like 8 or something like that. Like not a lot of top 5s the whole season, and then is now the champion. It's a little bit weird, but I mean that's what this format lends itself to. I mean he didn't even win this race, you know what I mean? Like, and he still won the championship. But I don't know. I think it's weird. I think he's deserving of it because he's obviously a big talent, and I think he's had it coming for a while. As a big Blaney fan or decent Blaney fan, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was okay.
I mean, I've always kind of thought it to be a gimmick. 7-time Jeff Gordon or 7-time champion Jeff Gordon, as it should be. But I don't know. I don't like the one race to call it deal. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Make it a battle royale, something like that. Every race somebody gets eliminated. I don't know. But I just not a fan of the single race, especially Phoenix. Give me a mile and a half because that's what NASCAR's, main stage is. Yeah, exactly. A multi-lane, awesome racing track. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of Phoenix, but honestly, I thought this weekend's racing was decent. Not great, but decent.
It's kind of one of the things. Like, is our expectations so low that this seemed good?
Right.
Yeah. Same thing with like Martinsville last week. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But go ahead.
And so halfway through the race, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, this is boring. And then the final stage, it kind of picked up, and there was a little bit of light there, but I don't know. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the Chastain versus Blaney battle for the lead thing made it a little bit interesting, but other than that, it was kind of like, all right, whatever, just get through this and crown champion.
It's just not really a lot of lanes. It's just someone gets the inside or outside, and they just die if you're not on the primary lane.
But Austin, they go 5 wide on the restart.
Oh, you're right. Oh.
I think Phoenix has helped a lot. I think the championship race has helped a lot, just by like the same reason why I think Martinsville last weekend was helped a lot in that, like, the dynamic of the championship 4, and you're so focused on that, and it just adds a whole nother layer. If this is the exact same race in the spring, is it as exciting? I would argue probably not. I think the championship being on the line and everything going on sort of adds to it. But back to the playoffs, like I was thinking about it. I think what I don't like the most is I don't like the regular season being win and in.
Mm.
I think if you made I would make 2 changes to it. The regular season would not be win and in, and you would knock it down to 12. I want it to be harder to get in, and I want, like, the regular season performance to really matter. And, like, those guys getting into the playoffs are the guys that are actually performing week in and week out. Because, I mean, like, we talk about wins and how, you got to win in stick and ball sports. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at it as wins or everything, what stick and ball team is making it to the playoffs if they go 1-20? Like, if you just luck out and get a win at Daytona, like, does that really mean you are a championship caliber driver? Like Ricky Stenhouse, nothing against Ricky, but did he really deserve a shot at a championship just because he won a race? Won Daytona? Like, I don't think so. So I think if you would just take, I mean, if you want to do it in the playoffs, I think that's fine, because now you're down to your championship guys, and, like, that win can get them to the next round. I'm fine with it there, but, like, getting to the playoffs themselves, I think, should all be just points based. Keep the stages, keep your playoff points, all that stuff. Who can rack up the most points? Those top 12 guys are your top guys in the series. It'll work itself out throughout the first 20 races, and then I don't know. I think I can kind of feel good, or 26 races, and I think I can kind of feel good about whoever wins the championship at that point, or whoever's fighting for it. I still don't love a single race championship or championship decider. That's probably my biggest gripe with it. Make it a round of 3. But I mean, I could probably swallow it a little bit easier if you did that and made wins in the regular season not like your ticket in. Like I don't like that.
What if they made it like, so you said top 12,
Mm-hmm.
and then you reset those points. Everybody's equal. You race 5 races, and then you eliminate half of them, and then you do another 5, and you have a champion.
So the reason why I kind of like that, and I kind of go to like the original chase format, or original, but like the previous chase format. We talk about ratings and stuff like that, and how we see like this taper off, and we've had this conversation before, like with Chase Elliott going out. If once your driver falls out of the playoffs, say I don't know, say a big name driver, say Chase Elliott gets knocked out in the first round for some reason. God. Here he is.
Hello, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Mr. Brian Hicks, how you doing this evening?
How's it going?
Brian, turn your camera on for us, would you?
But like as you're going through the playoffs and you're eliminating drivers.
Brian, welcome to the show. Sorry for the late entry there, folks, but Brian wanted to show up late today, so.
Appreciate
Jeez. No manners.
Better late than never.
I had a contender race to finish 35th in.
Wow, you really are made for Door Clear podcast, aren't you? Golly.
Yep.
Zach, what were you saying? Go ahead.
Just like the way the playoffs work, and so like how they're cutting drivers out each, every 3 weeks. Are we losing some of that audience, especially once you get into football season? Am I gonna keep watching football if I'm a, driver? If, Joe's my driver, and all of a sudden he's knocked out of the playoffs, and they don't act like them guys exist at all anymore. Am I gonna keep watching, or do I just want to say, to hell with it, I'll watch football?
Right.
Because it is kind of that time. So if you give people a reason not to watch, is that the best thing? Now, if your driver stays in the whole time, yeah, that's great. But
well, think about it from the same. I don't know. I think it's still a little bit different because you still do get. They focus on more of the field if it's a non-playoff format. But I mean, look at Formula One. I mean, you got Max locking out the championship. How many races out from the end? So do you have the same scenario there where if your driver doesn't lock in that championship, are you going to keep watching? My argument would be yes. That's still going to be different, just because you're going to have, like obviously that first place is locked out, but he's still fighting for second place, third place, whatever. He's still very much in the fight for a position. The broadcast is going to focus on him still to some degree, more so than if he's out of the playoffs. So, to answer my own devil's advocate question, yeah, I feel like there is still a big difference, but wondering if y'all have any other thoughts about that.
But I mean, if you're talking F1 isn't going heads up with football either.
It's true.
Yeah, they race it all different times. Sometimes, and I mean, but I don't think their goal is to really compete with American NFL
especially
football
when you factor
either.
in the Europe games that they play. That you can only watch on NFL Network that start at like 8-9 a.m. So I mean.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know enough about F1 to say how that affects them or doesn't. I mean, F1 fans love F1 and understand the championship and probably don't have too much of a problem with it. They probably have more of a problem with. I mean, if I wasn't going to watch F1 because the championship is locked down, I wouldn't watch it all because you already know who's going to win. Like right. F1, you already know. Based off of qualifying, you have a good idea what the finishing order is going to look like. Sure. Swap a couple spots around. So I don't know. I'm not a huge F1 fan, so I can't speak for them or what they are really interested in. But maybe.
Hicks, do you think the playoff system is a gimmick?
It is. It was devised to make it interesting, and it has. Is the driver that wins the championship the most deserving driver all the time? Nope. But I think it does do its job. It does what it intended it to do.
Right.
Yep.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, the intention is to create a lot of Game 7 moments to add kind of excitement towards the end of the season, not have someone checked out as the winner too early on. So definitely accomplishing that. But definitely.
But I would even say to that, I mean, as opposed to F1, there's a little bit more parity now in NASCAR with next gen, and yeah, ultimately the same Gibbs, Penske, Hendrick are going to win most of the races, but it still is. I think I don't have the guy who did the Winston points, but I think it was still within 30, 50 points between if they just did straight Winston points. So
I'd be interested to
we would
know.
still... Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're saying that. I'd be really interested to know, like, over the last, like, I don't know, 10 years, what is the biggest gap if you go back to the Winston points? You bring up an interesting side thought.
I will research that.
Like, if you look over the last 10 years, what is the biggest points gap? Now, I mean, it's sort of grain of salt shit because we're racing for stage points. Everybody races differently, but it'd just be interesting to know.
So while Joe's looking that up, we'll move on to the Cup race.
Real quick, just for this year, since I just pulled it up. This year, William would have won by 17 points over Denny, 33 over Buescher, and 42 over Bell. So that's enough to keep it interesting over the course of a playoff. So and Blaney was 7th for what it's worth.
Okay. So Cup race. Obviously, we said Blaney won the championship. He finished 2nd. Ross Chastain pulls out a win. How do we feel about the racing? Anybody?
It happened.
Yeah, it was a race.
I didn't mind it, but I think I think that what I was saying earlier, I think the championship dynamic adds to it. I saw them using a lot of different lanes that I feel like they haven't. I don't remember them using before. I'm not saying they haven't used them, but I just don't remember it. Still struggled to pass, but they could. Faster cars could pass, but now again, you got to consider, are they able to pass? Because the ones I was thinking of was Blaney and Bell. You know, they started 15th and 16th, and they were able to get to top 10 before the end of the stage. You know, are guys just letting them by? I don't know, maybe. But they were able to make some moves. No, Ross wasn't letting anybody by. Apparently, MTJ was putting up a little bit of a fight with them too. Sometimes.
Second to last season, so I would be too. You know?
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. For a Phoenix race, it was okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed the race. And I mean I know we say it kind of wasn't that hard to pass, but I mean, I think Ross. I saw a really cool graphic on Twitter. I think over the last, I can't remember what the number of laps it was.
Like where they would have finished.
Where they would have finished based off of average lap time, and like Blaney was far above where Chastain was.
Yeah,
and Chastain was able to keep the lead just by putting his car in front of Blaney, and obviously it was super frustrating for Blaney, but which I mean, I think the dirty air definitely made the race a little bit better because it kept Blaney from just outright dominating.
Right.
So I think if it wasn't for the dirty air, the race probably would have been a lot more boring.
What package they ran? Yeah. I can't remember for Phoenix.
They run the short track. They run the short track package, but they did they did some things that I don't think they disclosed. They changed the package that they ran this weekend without testing it. Yeah.
Oh,
were they running the same tire that they ran at Martinsville?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the racing was better than we've seen before. Turns 1 and 2 now. There seemed to be multiple lanes where you could run the middle, low, high, which made it interesting. Every time Blaney tried to pass Ross, it pulled in Martin Truex and Byron for a little bit. So the racing didn't seem horrible. Definitely better than it has been. And I mean, the first 2 stages sucked though. I mean, there was nothing going on.
Yeah, those were terrible.
But we also had Kevin Harvick's final race. It's done. 2001. 22 years? It's crazy.
The last
Young gun.
You
Last
beat me
year.
to it, you son of a bitch. That's
year.
my
You didn't say
thing.
it. I didn't get in.
You didn't even say it right. It's the last Gillette young gun.
Oh, my bad.
Finally retires from full-time competition. Technically, we still got Ryan Newman, but he's only doing part-time stuff, and it's with Rick Rowe Racing.
Is
so who
Harvick
cares?
going to run part-time? Has he said anything at all about what he's going to do?
I haven't heard
Didn't say.
nothing. Sounds like it's just all broadcast.
I think he's
We'll
gonna do some car tour stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
I know he said he wanted to get back into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine he'll be doing some stuff with Keelan too. When Keelan gets up in there, maybe he'll. I mean, Kyle Busch always said about how he wants to race with Brexit. I'm sure Harvick wants to do the same thing with Keelan.
Yeah.
So my understanding, Keelan doesn't want anything to do with NASCAR.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he wants to do open wheel road
Yeah, I
stuff.
was about to say, yeah, I thought he was
Ooh.
big into
Good for him, I guess.
F1 stuff. Yeah.
I do remember not too long ago he was like over there in Europe doing some karting stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
To be a rich kid, you know.
I know, right?
Right.
Gosh. I'll be on the circuit by now for sure.
Nepotism. Love
I
it.
would be Max Verstappen, not Max.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can go over there and give them F1 boys a run for their money, I'm all for it.
Hey, Sargent
Go
scored
for
a point this weekend. Related
Did he?
motorsport news.
Good for him.
I think if we had a good old boy running in F1 a little bit better, I think I could probably watch a little more.
So before we move on from this race, Zach, how'd your guy do?
Terrible. He was doing good, and then all of a sudden, brake rotor fucking blew up. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Worst way to go out. Worst way to watch a driver go out is freaking mechanical failure.
Yeah, that's rough.
Like I would have rather him get cleaned out by somebody than freaking brake rotor blow up. But it is what it is.
Better brake
Can't do
management
nothing
next
about
time. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I feel like it's a faulty part. I can't believe that. 100 laps into a race, something like that, the rotor blows because you're mismanaging it. But I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's really just a skill issue, I think, though.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
probably.
100%.
And props to NBC. That was an incredible graphic. That
Fox could never.
that they had.
Oh yeah.
Like,
we'll talk about
I have-
Fox in a little bit,
Like
but-
how they just pull up a graphic of the brake rotor exploding when they need to is
Yeah.
Yes.
that
was
blew me
awesome.
that blew me away that they had a graphic for that.
That model they got is
Yeah.
amazing. It's so funny because like I've been watching, I've said it a million times, old races, and I came up to when Fox started using their first like 3D model of a car to like show stuff on track. I swear to God, the model they use in 2007 is the same damn
thing.
model that they use now. Like it is not improved at all. It might have a couple more polygons thrown in, but that's about it.
But it's the cutaway car. Come on.
Oh my God, they're
Missed the
so
real
far
cutaway
behind.
car. All right.
Yeah,
Anything
oh, yeah, the real
else to
cutaway
add to
car
the
is
Cup
cool.
race? Anybody?
I mean,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how do we feel about Ross racing for the lead? Is
Love
that
it.
I thought it's
rub anybody the
Good
wrong
race.
way?
I also feel like they love I feel like I don't say it's a
Broadcast
lot.
didn't love it. Show up for like 14 minutes.
Yeah, I say this a lot, but I feel like I don't say this a lot is what I mean. But like I feel like NASCAR's kind of milking that a little bit. Like I took a screenshot of it, and it's like the clip. It's what Ross said during the race, and then what Ryan said after the race. It's this little graphic. It says, "Ross, I know he's mad, and I don't care. I do not care. I did not care then. I do not care now. I'm here to race him. I'm not going to wreck him." And then it's Blaney from the media center. F right, I hit him on purpose. He blocked me on purpose 10 times. What do you expect me to do? And it's like, I don't think they're actually mad at each other. I don't think Ryan's mad at him. I think he moved him out of the way because that's racing. I don't think he's like, he might have been frustrated in the moment because obviously can't get past him. But I don't think he's mad at Ross for what he did. I think they're trying to paint it like that he's mad at for what he did because it's going to get clicks and everything. But I don't feel like they're mad at it. I think Ross knew what he was doing. He's there to win a race. When he's asked about it, he's going to defend himself. And then Ryan's going to say, yeah, I hit him on purpose because he was blocking me. But I don't think he was saying that in a angry way. I think he's just saying, yeah, I just moved him. I had to, it's racing. So anyway, I'm perfectly fine with Ross racing the way he did. He didn't do anything egregious. He raced like he's racing for a win, which is what he was doing. He didn't wreck him. He didn't do anything crazy. I think that, I have no problem with that racing.
Yeah, I agree.
I prefer it, really. I'd rather them do that than just pull over for him. Like
You
it's
sure as fuck would have still been mad at him if Kyle Larson called him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we're not joking anymore.
No, yeah. And I'm pissed.
I don't know. I kind of go back and forth with it. Like Ross and everybody else has the right to race their race, but I also have an issue with like, again, we're going to this one race championship thing. When you have two teams in the Super Bowl, somebody else isn't coming out there playing defense for the other team. So like, I don't know. It's just the only reason why I don't like it is because of the format, not because of what Ross did. I think Ross is entitled to race his race. The issue I have is just how we decide champion now.
Yeah, but it's like if they really didn't want any of them racing, why not just do a 4-car race? You know what I mean? Like
I know
they have the cars out there for a reason. It's to make it an actual race and the full race, not to make everyone else pull over for the championship 4. So I don't know.
And I think that situation plays out a little different if they're racing for second, not for the win.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Ross isn't going to pull over and let somebody win the race. If he's obviously if Blaney's faster than him and Ross is running second, I see Ross racing Blaney a whole lot different.
Mm.
Here's a question: do you think that was an attempt to sort of say, "I'm sorry, Rick Hendrick," from Ross? Like, let me try to slow up Blaney to give your boys a shot.
No, I don't think.
Do you think he bought some good faith in Rick Hendrick from doing that?
I think Ross strictly looks at it from just a win standpoint. Like he's chasing any trophy he can get.
Especially after the season he's had, he needs
to
put some points up.
Yeah.
How does he just show up? Like he's done this twice now. He just shows up like a ball of fire. He's super fast, and then they die. And then they show up like super tail end of the season again. They did that last year, and they did it again this year.
I think if anything was I can't really think of the word for it, but like if anything like said where people stood as far as like how they feel about teammates was Chase Elliott not racing Blaney harder than he could have to slow Blaney up for Larson and Byron to catch up. I thought Chase could have definitely hindered Blaney more than he did.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised he didn't. Really
we know Chase hates Kyle. No doubt about that.
Yeah. Well, I thought I'm sure y'all saw that Trey Ryan guy made the graphic of like all the statistical categories this year. It is obviously it's interesting that Blaney is in 0 of them. But also
I think he did it for trucks too, and Ben Rhodes isn't in any of them either.
Yeah. So, and Cole Custer was in a good amount of those, but I just found it funny that the Dillon brothers were in the 2 bad categories.
Oh, but Sean Creed's the dumbest driver though.
Most DNFs and 30th or worse.
30th or worse, Ty Dillon with 14. Most DNFs, Silver Spoon Austin with 10. So we love that.
Corey LaJoy, no DNFs.
Let's go.
Real quick before we move on, back to the sort of Trackhouse talk. Do you think Daniel Suarez has to be worried?
Yes.
With how good Ross runs and how mid he runs? How long has he got on his contract? Anybody know?
I can see.
They never say, but this will be his last year.
Yeah, you think?
2024.
Yeah.
You think they put SVG in it?
I think SVG and Zane Smith are probably fighting for that ride.
Yeah.
Because
Suarez
hasn't the Spire car, right?
Right.
Zane. Yeah.
Yeah. Hendrick has one of the Spire cars. Trackhouse has one of them, and then the third one's just a Spire car in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's LaJoy's, right? Or is LaJoy the Hendrick one?
LaJoy's the Spire car.
Oh yeah.
Hocevar's the Hendrick car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I kept expecting Suarez to show up, kept wanting him to show up. I'd pick him in, our pool and everything. But yeah, he's pretty solid, right? And then just feel like I didn't do anything all year. Just absolutely nothing.
He didn't do much last year either. He only got the 1 win, didn't he? Sonoma.
I feel like he still ran good a lot of races.
Did
he? Yeah, I mean, I could be remembering wrong, but I feel like he ran pretty good. I mean, Trackhouse
I feel like.
Yeah, Trackhouse has not been as good this year in general, of course, but I mean, especially Suarez. Just is not. I'm gonna see where he finished in points. 19th in points, and then Ross finished 9th.
Yeah,
and that might be that's with like playoff points and everything, obviously. But yeah, not a great look to be in a Trackhouse car and that far. Losing to a front row car and some of these other teams that you'd expect to be running up there with.
If you make the playoffs, can you finish worse than 16th in points?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Yeah, they elevate you so you can't.
Now, for what it's worth,
Fine.
Alex Bowman's still in that 48, and he finished 20th. So
Yeah.
So Suarez had the same amount of top 10s, but had 3 more top 5s last year. So, and a win last year. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I think he's got to be worried. Zane, I can definitely
think-
see popping in that ride,
Yeah.
depending on how he performs. But I was happy to see Chastain win it. I bet him to win top 3, top 5, top 10. It paid really well. I also had 3 of the 4 guys in the championship, and I didn't have Blaney, and so that kind of sucked. But it is what it is. I'm ready to move on. How about you guys?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Xfinity, Cole Custer, champion and winner.
what a guy.
Yeah, I thought it was a good race. Again, I mean,
He is always good.
yeah, I mean, John Hunter, Justin Allgaier spin lap 3, made his way back up there. I mean, it was a good race. Sam Mayer didn't really. I mean, he led for a little bit, and I was like, no, please no. But,
Anyone but this.
Yeah.
He ended up falling back, and I don't know. It was a good race, and happy for Cole Custer. He definitely held him off at the end.
Yeah. I was happy for SHR to finally get like some sort of win. Like you just feel like
Okay.
they've been struggling for so long. So, getting an Xfinity Series championship's got to put a little pep in their step. So good for them.
Did y'all hear what
Yep.
old Austin Hill said about Sheldon there in the post race too?
Oh gosh. he's
Something
so
about
bad.
racing them. I thought I'd show him how.
Yeah,
a good
show him how
teammate races.
teammate
Oh,
races. Yeah, shut up, Austin Hill.
I've soured on Austin a lot recently.
I used to be like okay on Austin Hill when he was down in trucks. I'm like, oh, he's all right. And now it's just like I can't stand the guy, especially now that
It
he's
seems
got
like-
RCRs like golden boy for Xfinity out, and makes me
I
hate
know.
him even more.
It seems like I'm a little late to the party on this. Like, I feel like there was some already built up hate on Austin Hill that I was unaware of. What was that about? Like, I don't pay too much attention. Like, is there anything
sure.
else he's done historically, or just people just annoyed of him because they're annoyed of him?
I
I
mean,
think it's that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably that one. I mean, Sheldon was up there fighting for second, man. He was rubbing up with Allgaier coming to the line. That was, again, you're there to race. It's a full field race. You're there to race. But yeah, just Austin Hill, man. Shut up. Like, just shut up. I'm so glad Sheldon's switching teams.
Yeah, I hope next year Sheldon, gets in that JGR car and like either wins a championship or knocks Hill out or something.
It's
like
definitely capable. I'd say the JGR
Yeah.
car is more capable than the RCR car is.
Absolutely.
Their Xfinity program is just top notch.
Yeah, I'd love to see Sheldon run well next year.
Yeah.
And especially better than the 21.
I'll tell you what, though, they're going to use that snapshot of the championship four wide for the lead for the end of time to justify the championship race at Phoenix.
Yeah.
that. Yep.
It was cool. I'll say that. It was
That was the
That's
first thing I
cool.
thought when I saw that too. I saw him
You're
four
like,
wide. I was
"Damn
like,
it."
oh fuck.
We're giving him ammo. Shoot.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
The 3 wide, on the final restart was like, holy shit, this is awesome racing.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't want to say that out loud, but
Don't say that too
I don't
loud
know.
now.
yeah.
I mean, it's just the
So-
Xfinity car. It's so
Yeah.
good. You just can't deny how good the Xfinity car is.
Yeah. Really can't.
Anything else for Xfinity? I don't really have much. It was
Nah, it was a
Straight up
race.
race. I don't think anything crazy happened. We felt a little nervous there with Allgaier, and there was something else that happened at the beginning. Like, oh god, are we about to see truck race part 2? But
Yeah.
nah, it all
that
settled
late
down.
caution. I was like, oh no, not
Yeah.
this again.
yeah. I thought, oh, here it goes. This is where it all unwinds. But
Speaking of the
Nah,
truck
they-
race,
hell,
Yeah, speaking of the truck
like that
race.
transition, that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was.
that.
Can I say it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen from NASCAR? Is that a fair statement?
It was so bad.
Between the race itself and the broadcast. The broadcast, like
The
how
broadcast.
Oh boy.
how do you not have your commentators at the track for the
The
championship?
championship race, you're not going to fly them out?
How do you not have that?
It's
just absurd.
Insanely bad.
So bad.
Fox
And then they try to pass it off.
Broadcast.
They had like 6 monitors behind them, trying to make it look like they're looking out a window, but they don't even have the fucking screens lined up. There's like gaps in the screen. Like, oh my god, what Dollar General setup do you have going on here, Fox?
It's a night race and it's daytime.
Aren't they based in LA too? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, LA's not that far from Phoenix.
Yeah. Horrible.
Just the whole time, it's like you can tell these guys aren't there, and you can tell they're just watching the same feed we are.
Yeah.
Because they have no
100%. They're reacting like as I see a picture on the screen, they're reacting to the image I'm seeing. Yeah. Like, oh, there's pit stops.
people are pitting.
I forgot about that.
Oops.
Yeah.
It was just.
All that budget's got to go.
That was atrocious.
NFL broadcast right now.
They missed a pit stop towards the end too. Like completely missed it. It was like
they're not there.
Didn't talk about it. Yeah, didn't talk about it. Nothing. Like you had no idea who pit and who didn't. Like Ben Rhodes pit for tires. And it's just like.
Well, there was like other times
where they didn't talk about it.
There was other times where like somebody would, like there was a couple guys who were off cycle or something. So like they pit when, like they stayed out when everybody else pit. So then they pit later, and. Like, oh, something happened to Corey Heim. He lost a bunch of spots on pit road. He lost one. He lost spots because everybody stayed out.
Yeah, that was another thing. It was like,
how do I know what's going on in this race better than you do?
They said somebody lost 20 spots. They went from 5th to 10th. It's like, that's 5. Not 20, 5. It's just like, God. It was so bad. Like, I hope Fox doesn't get in this next TV contract.
Yeah,
they don't care.
I mean, they're going to. I saw a post from them saying that NASCAR is too important to us. Well, show us.
Yeah, yeah. How is that important to them? Like, how are they showing that at all? I don't get that because clearly that's not anywhere near their focus. It's important to them because they use it as a JV for their broadcasters. They can get some experience broadcasting and then move up to the real sports. So it's just like. That's the only capacity it matters to y'all, and if y'all really need that, go watch go broadcast AAA baseball or freaking XFL or something. Like send them there, not to our sport.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Honestly the worst part of the season isn't racing being, or the worst part of the end of the season isn't racing being over. It's knowing that Fox is picking back up in February. The next race we watch will be covered by Fox.
Don't tell me that.
Frustrating.
Unbelievable.
So, the thing we have to talk about here, Carson Hocevar spins time while battling for. I mean, it wasn't for the lead, was it? I don't think it was for the lead, but
it wasn't for the lead. It was for the championship lead.
I'm gonna pick someone and talk about this first. I'm just gonna do a little eeny meeny miny mo though. Eeny meeny Brian. Oh, laying on you. Brian, what happened there, man?
I wasn't driving the car.
I'm just wondering.
I mean, I don't.
Spoken like a true spotter.
I mean, he made a mistake. I mean, he. Now I will say, I thought he was putting on an act after he, got into Heim, and they showed him visibly upset in the car. I thought he was just putting that on for show.
Right.
But I think that checked him out. I think he just genuinely made a mistake. He sent it in there
for sure,
thinking that Heim was gonna do basically the same thing, slide up the racetrack. So I think he thought he was gonna have that room to slide up into that bottom groove. But I mean, you're inexperienced. This is what his second year in the truck series,
right?
So I mean, he's still learning. It doesn't. I mean, you've got to be smart, but I mean, you're racing for a championship. I mean, I'm probably going to throw it in there on you too. I mean, I think if you're fighting for your first championship, you get a little bit of, leniency as far as like how aggressive you are.
I almost wonder if he felt some relief getting punted later. Like if he's like, all right, cool, at least he got back to me,
Well,
kind of thing.
At that point, he was checked. Well, I mean, he had checked out,
sure.
and then because I mean, he could have. I think he dropped to the back intentionally.
Right.
Yeah.
Because imagine winning
not,
after doing that. You know what I mean? Like that, you
yeah,
can't feel
his
good about
head
that.
was right. His head was not in the game. But then they got some tires and they started getting track position. I think they ended up on some kind of cycle where he was actually moving back through the field with all the way the cautions were falling. And then obviously Heim made a pretty egregious move, but I mean I can't really fault him for making a mistake. I mean that's all it was. It was a mistake.
Yeah,
it wasn't
for sure.
I don't think it was intentional.
No, I mean, like I said, I've come around on Hostfar a little bit. I still think, I mean, yeah, second year in trucks, but at that point, how much are you expected to know after coming up through ARCA or any other, like even not ARCA, but like earlier series, like local track stuff, like where your car's going to stick, where it's not. Obviously, you're not going to be perfect by the time you're reaching trucks, obviously, but I don't know. I mean, obviously, he took responsibility for it. He didn't try to be like, well, he was routing me too tight low or something like that. Like some people we've raced with on iRacing who they might, always try to put the blame on someone else. So at least took responsibility. But
yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, a lot of people forget too. He's not even old enough to drink. Like he's still maturing. He's making. I mean, he's learning a lot like this year with as much flack as he's got from making mistakes, from being overly aggressive. So, I mean, I'm not trying to excuse anything he's done in the past,
right?
But at least it looks like he's made an effort up until the last few weeks when he started making mistakes again. It looks like he's made an effort to try to, be smarter on the racetrack. But I mean, I think a lot of people forget how young he is sometimes.
Part of me gets almost.
Are we ready for Cup then?
Hmm.
Like if we're saying he's that inexperienced and that new is going to Cup this soon,
well, I mean,
not a good thing.
If what they say is true about, I mean, he's obviously got talent. I mean, you go back and watch Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s first couple of years. How many people did he run into? Was he ready for Cup?
Everybody.
Exactly. I mean, just because you make mistakes and you're aggressive doesn't mean you're not ready for the Cup. But him going to Xfinity, from what, I mean, obviously I don't know because I ain't never been in either of the two cars, but just going off of what I hear on Twitter or on other podcasts or on TV, the truck is closer to how the Cup car handles than the Xfinity car. So why go to the Xfinity car when you're not going to learn anything to prepare yourself for Cup Series?
Right. I almost get remnants of Ross, where he's super aggressive, bumps into people all the time, kind of starts out in like a overly apologetic, almost like every single week he's apologizing for hitting someone, to then almost kind of living into it a little bit, like kind of growing into himself a little bit and not feeling sorry every time he's a little bit overly aggressive. So I can see Carson kind of taking that same route, and I have no problem with that. Like I like Ross a lot. I like the aggressive driving style, which is why I've kind of come around on him a little bit. But you got to learn obviously where to not do that, which I think Ross has started to learn, and he's learned to not always be running people over for 15th. But I think that we could see Carson kind of develop in that similar kind of route a little bit as he kind of moves through Cup. And I mean, when we've seen him in Cup, obviously he hasn't been in top rides, but I feel like he's been a little bit more reserved in how he's driving because he's still there trying to learn, not trying to piss anybody off. So I think when he gets to Cup, he may reserve a little bit, but that almost might kind of neuter him a little bit too, where he's not racing how I think we have seen some of that with Ross, where he's been told to chill out by certain entities, and now he's, obviously partially maybe because of Trackhouse film, but he hasn't done as well because he's not driving the way he drives because he's having to hang back on his aggression. So I don't want to see that for Carson either, but you got to still kind of learn the times to and the times not to run people over. You know what I mean?
Yep. So, how do we feel about Heim's payback on Carson? Saw a lot of people on, Twitter and that really upset with Heim.
He cost himself. He cost himself a chance at a championship. I mean,
Right.
that was the stupidest shit I've ever seen. I mean, I understand the thought process behind it. Like, yeah, I mean, I mean, they played his radio over the broadcast. I mean, he said they're that guy's not getting out of here, and but the way them cautions fell, Corey's truck was fine up until he walled Hocevar. I mean, I think he might have had a little bit of damage, but I mean, the way Carson was driving back up through there, Heim had a better truck than Hocevar. Like, all he had to do was get some new tires and then just keep working these cautions to move his way up, just like Enfinger did, and Harson was doing up until he got wrecked. I mean, that was dumb. He should have. I mean, I think his truck was done after that, but I think there needs to be some kind of penalty or fine.
I don't technically agree with that because I think he didn't have the time to get to the front. I mean, there's only a couple laps left. He had pretty much stalled out in about sixth place, so he wasn't going to catch Rhodes or Enfinger. And I mean, Hocevar was catching him, and then he slowed down just a little bit to give him the shot. He started kind of the whole caution fest, which, God, that was embarrassing. But I don't think he was going to get up there and battle for the championship.
Nah, his truck wasn't fine. He had right rear quarter damage. It was tore up, and that's like the most critical part on them things. So he was losing side force. I mean, I don't know. If he wants to get him back, when else is he going to get him back other than right in that moment, I guess, right? We always talk about guys wanting to pay guys back and never doing it. Well, Corey did it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Carson's going to Cup next year. Who knows when he sees him again? So I don't know. I think it's just like he just felt like, you took my championship away. I'm gonna make damn sure you don't get one.
Right.
It sucks that it affected the Enfinger and him getting the championship. But that's the kind of thing that happens. I mean, so David Starr can spin out.
Yeah, true.
And change the outcome of the race. So I don't know. That's just what's going to happen with a one race championship. I don't know. Was it the smartest thing? Probably not. But I get it. He was fuming in there. Accident or not, he was still pissed because he felt like his championship was taken away, and I don't think he thought he could get up there. So sort of just whatever.
If that hadn't happened, would we see the Ben Rhodes post champion Ben Rhodes again? You know what I mean? So win-win.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and I agree. I think with that, I mean, that is the incident that triggered the caution fest. So I mean, if that doesn't happen, do you have all those cautions? Probably not.
Wasn't Enfinger in the lead then?
Yeah, Enfinger had Rhodes by a good little while. I don't remember the gap, but he had him covered pretty well. So,
how do you feel about the Rhodes, Eckes, Enfinger thing that happened? Do you feel like Rhodes put Enfinger into Eckes?
Rhodes, Eckes, Enfinger thing. I don't remember that.
It was on one of the restarts. Eckes Enfinger went middle. Rhodes came up and pushed him into Eckes and caused some damage. That's why Enfinger had to pit.
I don't remember that.
I don't recall that.
Mm-mm. The only thing I remember was Rhodes running into somebody who missed a shift or something. Yeah. That's the only thing really sticks out.
That was Zane, wasn't it? It was right before that. It was a caution before that.
Was it?
The Enfinger. Yeah, the whole Enfinger thing happened. Enfinger was mad, and he said, he forced me into it looked like a racing deal, man. Like, you shot a hole that wasn't there, and it is what it is. But I don't know. I was celebrating. I was happy to see Rhodes get the championship there, and then on the restart just runs in the back of Zane. I'm like, no, not like this. But I don't know. His after race celebration was awesome, just like before, and good old drunk interviews. I don't know. I think he alluded that he might have smoked a little weed too. I was like, it's not the place to say that.
Is it legal in Arizona? I can't remember.
It might be legal.
I don't think it is in Arizona, but even if it is it
Well,
legal
now
in
resident.
NASCAR now?
Oh yeah.
Who cares? Races are over. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, prove that I didn't do it before. I don't know.
You know, the race ended at freaking 2 a.m. or whatever, so you know, party up because it started at 10.
Yeah, and another Fox flub. Like, who the hell thought that was a good idea?
That I mean, that's definitely a
Had to get the
scheduling
college
thing.
football in.
Yeah.
Yeah, had to get the college football in.
I thought NASCAR was so
Friday.
important.
Yeah, it's so crucial to them, critical to their
Right.
model. Stupid.
Man. Yep. I got nothing else. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, next race. Oh,
What we got? Yeah, next race. Daytona 500. What do you? Or no, actually, the
Clash.
Clash predictions.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the last year we do the Clash? How's that
apparently?
for a prediction?
Yes.
Do you think it's the last year of this?
Well,
I
last
think
year
LA
at, the
Coliseum Clash or Clash?
Yeah.
Oh.
LA Coliseum
Yeah.
Clash.
so. Yeah, I think so.
Are you ready for that? How about a better question? Are you ready for them to be done with it? Or do you want to keep going?
I like it, man.
I
I
think
like the LA Clash. It's a lot logistically. That's the thing, is going all the way out there to go all the way back to Daytona the next weekend. But I mean, I think it's cool.
Yeah, I really love the idea of what they did with North Wilkesboro. And it was something I thought I said before. I mean, not on this podcast, but just in our conversations before all this. Like, I think it would be great if you make the Clash about doing something to attract new fans and casual fans, which is what they did with, you know, having Ice Cube out there the first year and all that, you know, making it a big entertainment show. And then you take the All-Star race and you pay honor to your loyal fans, your old school fans, which going to North Wilkesboro, you kind of do that. You tick that box. So I like that idea of having the two exhibition events sort of tailored to two different groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, the LA Clash, I don't care what anybody says, is 10,000 times better than the Daytona Clash has been for the last few years. So,
Uh-oh.
I mean,
What was that?
I cannot, like, I mean, it's obvious people aren't showing up for that race anymore, or not anymore. I'm not gonna say anymore, but it's only been 2 years. But the turnout was not as good as it was last year, because I think that like patina is wearing off, and I think they can do what they did somewhere like better, like geographically better. Like if they can put a racetrack in
Augusta National.
No, I'm not trying to. I'm not saying that, but like there's probably football fields on this side of the country that would probably, you know, be better for that situation.
Yeah, that's
I
not their
mean,
goal.
Panthers
Half the goal is the new
stadiums.
market.
Yeah. Carolina
But-
Panthers Stadium, because they don't
New
use it in that.
If people aren't showing up,
Okay,
That's a good point. He has a point.
What-
He's not
what
lying.
what market if people aren't showing up?
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, I agree with Hicks a little bit there. And, like, you're kind of annoyed of hearing about chasing these markets, but if they don't show up, why are we chasing the markets?
I don't know if it would work at this track. I mean, at this stadium, but like, just because I'm not sure if they have the room that they do in the Coliseum. But like the Georgia Bulldogs won the national championship last year. If they can put it in a football stadium out west, put it in Athens, and I guarantee you pack that place out. You're in central Georgia.
Yeah.
You're going to sell Sanford Stadium out.
Yeah,
like,
Mercedes-Benz Dome or whatever that is
Yeah,
in Atlanta. Cool.
Like, there's got to be stadiums on the East Coast, especially in the South. Like, and then you're bringing in college kids. You put it in a college stadium, you're bringing in that new fan that you're chasing.
And you have these football stadiums that have 100K, like Tennessee Stadium has like 100K seats.
Exactly.
Put that shit there. That's in Knoxville, Tennessee. That's in the South.
Right. They've tried it in LA twice. It didn't sell out the first time. It damn sure didn't this year. Just do the same thing. Just do it on this side of the country, and I guarantee you bring college kids in.
Joe, you're gonna think I'm joking, but imagine a race at App Stadium. Can you? How
that would be
sick? How cool? Like just how
there
pretty
is room
the
for a race. there is room for a racetrack in there.
Yeah,
too.
how
'Cause
like
they used to have the track, like running track. So
just like how pretty is that atmosphere around there, the mountains and everything?
yeah.
Like how sick would that be to have? Obviously, it's middle or peak of winter, so it might not really work that well.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
Yeah,
So
but still, I mean, just as an example, I think that'd be sick.
So we're saying that we want to stick with the idea of a stadium style short track.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
The location of it is
You got Bowman
the
Gray that
question.
packs out every week.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
just
Gray. Why
sitting
They
there.
show up for fights and just racing happens sometimes.
It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
What's Bowman Gray, like 20,000 though? That's not like kind of hard. Not really apple apples.
Is it even that?
Wilkesboro's small too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not that small, but small.
I don't know. It just gets kind of tricky when you're talking about sellouts and comparing different venues because they don't have the same capacity. So it's like, is it an apples to apples? Like a sellout at 10,000 seats isn't the same as.
That's why I said, go to a college on the East Coast.
A big stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate them trying the LA Clash thing. I'm in agreement where I think, especially when we're talking about trying to save everybody money, let's go all the way out to freaking LA for an exhibition race.
Yeah.
I want to know how much that costs. I want to see a breakdown of that. How much it costs the teams to go out there. Like obviously it's costing NASCAR. Who knows how much to do all that paving and tearing up and everything.
Expensive.
But like for the teams themselves to drive out there, drive back, bring a car, tear up that car on the short track, and it's going to add up quick. So just obviously you're going to get the tearing up and everything, and that costs any kind of track you're going to do like that. But just on top of
there's a person involved.
Yeah, on top of that, truck and the entire car.
Is there?
Haul everything.
Do they pay no money for the Clash, or like I don't know how that works.
I'm guessing it's just like a normal payout, just nothing spectacular.
Yeah,
that's a good question actually.
But
I'd wonder what that is.
I still think for races like that, they need to double whatever they're doing. Like we used to have the No Bull Millions, Well, now it needs to be 3-4 million probably, just because of how inflation has happened.
Yeah,
$1 million raises mean nothing now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I make $1 million every month, so it's like nothing.
Yeah.
So
big time
feet pictures on OnlyFans.
And Drake.
Yeah, it's my feet pics. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I feel like they're definitely going to do something new next year. I don't think they're going to go back. My gut tells me that, but I've been wrong before. We'll see.
Not on this podcast, though. We're always right.
Legends track at Charlotte.
Yes, please.
I mean, you could do that. You could go to a Legends track or something. I don't know. But then are you attracting the new fan? That's the question. I don't think you really are. I like the idea of going to like a college stadium. There you go.
Unbiased opinion.
All 38 races, Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Unbiased opinion. Put everything within a 2-hour radius of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
Please no. So we'll talk about the Clash and all that in February, guys. We're done with the NASCAR season.
No.
You know who else is done?
Yeah.
MSG.
Yeah, they are.
Ding dong.
Video game news. Motorsports
halted
gaming.
Production on the IndyCar game.
Zach, you said it best in your tweet. That's what you get for literally doing zero research on these teams.
None.
On these production studios, development studios, and signing an exclusive contract with them. Like,
right.
It just blows my mind. I've said it once, said 1,000 times. It blows my mind that they're able to continue to swindle companies to signing on with them after the horrible products they produce. So it's just atrocious. So good riddance to them.
It will.
Yep.
It will soon no longer be redacted car.
Yeah.
Back.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, now that shit's gonna be tied up in court unless MSG just sells it, just sells the license.
Well, they gotta do something to make money at this point.
They're gonna have to. Apparently, there's a Le Mans game that's coming out in February. They say it's coming out.
Can't wait for that.
See about that. Yeah, can't wait for that to not release.
With just Le Mans.
Right, just a couple mods. They stole some mods off of Nexus or something.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're done.
We actually will be continuing for the next few weeks to finish up the F1 season. So we're not going to be F1 podcast for the next few weeks. Brian's heading it up, actually.
Breaking
thanks, Brian.
Max Verstappen won.
That's it.
No
it's a 5-second episodes every week. Well, Max won. All right. Well,
it was actually a little bit closer. I caught a little bit of it, and Lando was up.
He was fighting.
Yeah.
I will say one of my all-time favorite experiences just in life, like regular occurrences, is early-ish morning sporting games to watch. So like I love getting up at like 7 or 8 on a Saturday and just making a cup of coffee, sitting on the couch,
It's so great.
putting on an F1 race or a soccer game or something. It's like, I don't know what it is about it. It's just having that like comfy sitting on the couch, nothing to do all day, nothing to do in the morning but watch these things. It's just one of the best sensations ever.
So that's like one of the arguments why they want to do the later start times is because for NASCAR, just to go talk about NASCAR for a second, is because the West Coast market, they don't want them having super early races. Like I would love that.
Yeah.
A race starting at like 9, 10 a.m. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Chef's kiss.
That'd be fantastic.
And we
know
afternoon. And we know no one in California goes to church, because they're all heathens. So, so they have nothing to do Saturday
11 o'clock races.
Dude, I would love an early morning race. So it'd be so nice.
Did we have one this season? Didn't we have a kind of earlier race where we were all like, oh, this is nice?
Something happened. There was some sort of rain delay, I thought.
Yeah, it's like...
It was Xfinity. I think it was... No, it wasn't because they called that race. I was thinking it was Xfinity Chicago, but it might have been Trucks.
Yeah.
Trucks where, though?
Yeah, I think you're...
Was it Chicago? It might have been... Yeah, because they were all three there at Chicago, weren't they?
No, Trucks weren't. It was IMSA, Xfinity, or not IMSA. Something
Xfinity
else.
And Cup.
Xfinity and Cup, yeah.
Okay. Well, no, because then they just...
I think
no, because they called the Xfinity race. Remember, because that was a big debacle. They called it before halfway. And everybody's like,
There was one, I think it was a truck race that was before the Cup race. And it was kind of nice. But...
Yeah, I can't remember what that was. But you're right, it did happen. There was like a 10 a.m. thing this year. And it is nice. You get up, you get your coffee, cooking some nice breakfast, watch a race, and then enjoy your afternoon.
It's the best.
Yep,
I love it.
I remember, when I was a kid, you'd have that 11 o'clock race. You'd wake up, eat some breakfast, turn the TV on, boom, race. It's like, fuck yeah. Then the race would get over by 2. You got the rest of the day ahead of you. I don't know. It was nice.
So nice.
But
yeah, it is the off season. But, it's really not that bad. Like, I was thinking about it today. Like Drake was saying, we got 2 F1 races in November. And then you got the holidays, you got Thanksgiving, and the build up to Christmas. That'll keep you occupied.
Boom.
And then after Christmas, after Christmas, you got like the Tulsa Shootout, if you're into that. And then right after that is the Chili Bowl. And then right after that, we have the iRacing Rolex 24. And then the weekend after that, you got the actual 24. And then you got the Super Bowl coming up. Or is the Clash before the Super Bowl this year, or is that after?
One week before.
Yeah, so then you got the Clash, and then you got the Super Bowl, and then you're back to racing again. So it's it goes by pretty quick.
It does. I don't know. I still kick myself when I was in Vegas last year, and we made a day trip to LA, past the Coliseum, went, hey, that race is this weekend, and then went to the fucking Pro Bowl instead. Holy fucking mistake.
Yeah.
But
trying to attract new fans, can't even get a current one to go. Jeez,
dude. That's the thing. Like the girlfriend's like, man, we really should have went to that race. Like, I know, but yeah, I don't know. I look forward to the Clash, and a couple months just goes real quick.
Brian, gun to your head, who's winning?
Will be good.
Brian, gun to your head, who's winning next season?
Winning what?
The championship.
Joey Logano.
Ooh.
A Penske three-peat.
I take back.
I'll tell you what. Before you take it back, let me sell you on this.
Okay.
Ford is getting that new body, and that thing looks. You see the fenders on that?
Yeah.
Chris Buescher.
They.
Ooh. Still.
What do you say?
Like that one.
Chris Buescher.
Chris Buescher.
Chris Buescher's a good one. I think Ford's gonna be a powerhouse.
They're both plus 1,800 to win it right now.
Chevy is not going to do anything this year, I don't think.
No, they're sticking with the same body. And we don't know what the Toyota looks like, but Toyota's getting a new body.
Yep.
Ford's got theirs already out. So, yeah, Chevy could be behind the ball next year. We'll see. If Toyota does anything like what Ford did, because I swear to them fenders all sculpted in.
Maybe Chevy's doing the smart thing by letting Ford and Toyota put their cars out this year. That way they know what to do come 2025.
Yeah.
Maybe. When they bring out the 2025 Chevy Equinox Cup car.
Good Lord.
What are they going to have?
Speaking of that, the electric
Bringing the
car.
Malibu? I don't know what else.
Car.
The Leaf.
Some people were saying the Corvette, but I was like, you can't bring the Corvette.
No,
It's mid-engine
no.
now.
Yeah, it won't be a Corvette.
Why would you? And the Corvette's an IMSA. No, you're not going to bring a Corvette.
Maybe we'll do just something like the Chevy SS, just a limited run sedan.
Yep.
Maybe. But boy, why wouldn't you
Suburban.
just keep the Camaro then?
Chevy
Why would you just keep a
Suburban.
limited run Camaro if
Yeah.
you're going to do that?
Nobody. Yeah,
Chevy
it's true.
Volt.
Yeah. Perfect.
So when is that electric car? Was that Phoenix that they were going to test that at, or was that somewhere else?
I don't know. It's not going to be like broadcast or televised or anything. It's like a.
Yeah, they said they weren't going to
Hush,
release
hush.
it to
Thought
the
it was
public
Martinsville.
until
It
like
might have been Martinsville.
January. It
Could
might have
be.
been. I don't know.
Then the hybrid will get
I
announced
mean-
in 2 years. So
Yeah.
Yep.
then we'll
Maybe
have-
that's what Chevy's
Get all
waiting
the
on.
royalties.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the favorite to win next year is Kyle Larson, followed by Byron. And
Kyle Larson.
then you got the Toyota boys.
Once sports betting officially becomes legal in North Carolina in, I think, January, I'll throw a $5 on Busher and Brian's name.
I actually like the Busher pick. I really do.
Yeah.
Maybe a Brad K. But
Ooh.
I don't know.
Nah.
Ooh, Josh Berry.
What's his odds?
Plus 5,000.
Ford might be coming up, but SHR is not.
Put $1 on it.
So I was thinking about this. Okay, Eric's out of the 10. What happens if Gregson goes to the 10? We just have a JGR or JRM reunion and maybe a little junior actually coming in.
Good.
Not if
see.
they remain Fords.
Yeah, it's true.
Good point. Just
How would
make-
that work though?
Uh,
How would it, like if so? So what's this? So SHR has to make their re-up their deal with Ford by the end of next year. And if they would sell the team, like how do you have to sell the team with that agreement in place? Like, or because you're a new owner buying the team and it's changing hands, is that deal void?
I don't think they have to have a deal if they're going to sell.
yeah. I mean, if they're already like say right
I guess
now,
that's
say
true.
they're
You
talking-
would sell before you make that deal. So I guess that'll be sort of our telltale sign of what happens is if SHR announces that they're re-upping with Ford, then I guess that would mean they're probably keeping it, or at least not selling to Junior.
I just saw an article this morning about Junior saying that the only roadblock's the price for the charter. So, I mean,
He should have bought in years ago, man.
Yeah,
He's been
dude,
saying
right?
that since they were $5 million. I remember listening to the podcast, and he was talking about how they just wasn't sure about $5 million, and they've just gone up and up and up and up.
what was the last one? 40 or 50 million? Something
That
like that.
Spire one was rumored to be 40.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot of cheddar.
Todd Gilliland plus 50,000. Ooh, same with LaJoy. There you go. There's your bet. LaJoy champion. All right, so kill count. Do we have anything? I really don't remember.
No, I don't think
I don't think so.
the only two cars that DNF that I can even think of that wrecked is Bell and Cindric.
Yeah, and they were both single. So
Yeah, they're both by themselves. Blaney tried wrecking the hell out of Ross.
yeah.
Didn't work out.
Well,
It was attempted murder.
LaJoy is the winner of kill count this year.
The
They
DNF
pick him
stuff.
to win
Survivor pool.
something.
Yeah, true. He did win
Survivor
something.
pool. I had Larson, top finisher.
Yes, Andrew won Survivor Pool. Congratulations. Let's never talk about it again.
Zach, where'd you finish?
I don't want to talk about it.
Me and Joe tied. Tiebreaker, I think, is
Me, because it's
who has.
JP has missed wins.
Whoever touches their nose first gets it.
Oh,
Drake got it.
You Ooh, let's go, baby. Number 1. Number 2, that is. But
Oh God, I did stuff.
Deep state.
Okay, well, that's it for that. We do have some OnlyFans, and I might have missed a week because Leroy put in 3.
let's go.
But pick your ultimate Final 4 using any driver from any era. Pick a
Ooh.
track and to settle it on.
Mm.
In an era of a car, why not?
Gen 4.
Gen 4 is the easy answer for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Senior, Gordon. Do you just go Johnson and Petty?
That's
I
low-hanging
don't.
fruit.
That is low hanging fruit, but I don't think Petty.
You're
would
forgetting
even...
about the best.
Petty,
driver in the world, Kyle
you'll
Larson.
never convince me. Kyle Petty or Richard Petty is not the other one.
Yeah.
He's so overrated.
Crazy that Kyle
Oh,
Petty.
wait.
Crazy
Hold
that
on,
Kyle Petty
speaking-
won the championship. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Kyle Petty, remember earlier this year he called Ryan Blaney the new Casey Kane, and look how
Like,
that ended up.
I still maintain like
champion.
that's a bad thing.
Right. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no.
But you're right. Yeah, he basically said Ryan Blaney's useless, and here he is.
Yep.
So get fucked, Kyle
Champion.
Petty.
So
I think I do.
who else do you guys have?
Got Dale Jarrett, obviously. Dale Senior, of course. I'd go Jimmy and Corey LaJoy. No, actual fourth would probably
Jack.
be. I feel like Jeff's got to be in there, but I feel like Brian said, maybe low hanging fruit, but maybe someone like old school, like Junior Johnson or something, you know. Throw him in the mix.
Well,
Alan
I think-
Kowicki.
I would go with Tony Stewart.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Kyle Busch, but like 08 Kyle Busch, 07, 08 Kyle Busch. Matt Kenseth, and I don't know who's the fourth. Mark Martin. Why not? Give him a shot.
Ooh.
Nice. I think I mean racetrack. I think Homestead would be a great one. No.
Yeah, I think Homestead's a good. I feel like it's a good kind of mix of
I think
a lot of
I think
driving styles.
we're settled on Gen 4 and Homestead. That's the only right answer.
Yeah.
And we have we're picking from 6 guys, pretty much 6, 7 guys.
I mean, you can't tell at all that I've been watching a lot of early 2000 races with my picks. Not even a little bit.
Not at all. No, what are you talking about? You have? You haven't mentioned it actually.
I know.
Thanks, who you got?
Senior Larson,
Oh,
Cale Yarborough,
Ooh.
and Kyle Busch in an early 90s car at Old Atlanta.
Ooh, I like that.
Old Atlanta. Hell yeah. Okay. The next question. What has been your guys' favorite moment of the 2023 season?
SVG.
SGU winning was pretty cool.
It was.
That's got to be up there.
North Wilkesboro being back too was pretty cool, even though the race sucked. But that was still really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the ending of the Xfinity Martinsville race, but
Yeah. Brian.
That was
is that what
my
you were gonna say?
Hell
It
yeah.
was? Sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll change mine because Kansas watching Tyler Reddick while on pit road, that was pretty fucking awesome for me.
I think my personal favorite. This is not for the racing related, but me and Joe getting to go to Darlington with media passes was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
freaking.
Oh,
top-notch.
that's completely a
A
valid pick.
media credential podcast.
Yeah,
Here.
becoming a credential podcast 2 weeks.
I
in a
mean,
row.
honestly, that's probably my
Did not
favorite
ex-
single
did
moment.
not
To be honest with
expect
you,
yeah,
like that
yeah.
was so cool.
that was
Like
nuts.
speaking from us and our podcast, like that was just so mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm going full homer. I don't care. I'm not picking some, generic.
Auto
This is a great
Club.
moment. Auto Club, Kyle Busch,
Yeah.
RCR, middle finger to JGR. Fuck you guys. That was great. I loved it. That is hands down my favorite moment. I'm fully leaning into my
It was a really
fandom,
good
and I don't
race.
care.
Fair.
It was a really good race. So, but speaking of Peyton and Matt, thank you so much for letting us go to
Yes.
Kansas and
Yes.
Darlington. So
Darlington.
hopefully we get to see you guys in the 2024 season.
Yes.
Yeah, I know I'll be applying for a couple. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and hopefully
Cool.
Zach gets to go to one, and Hicks maybe you can
Hmm.
go with somebody, and I don't know. It's such a great experience, and
It really is.
yeah.
Well, if
I've been a
anyone's
fan.
gonna, I was just looking for shits. If anyone's going to the Rolex 24, you can apply for those creds.
Speaking of
That'd be-
Rolex 24,
Oh,
right
yes.
now would be an amazing time
Oh, look
Heyo.
at that.
Ew.
to reveal the 2024 Rolex 2024 Green White Checkered Podcast Cadillac GTP. That
Beautiful.
we
Hell yeah.
will be trying to not crash for 24 hours and trying to run back our
Yeah.
victory. See if we can do it again.
Name of the race: Try to not crash 24,
Yep.
Pretty much.
which
There she
I
is.
have
Tried.
experience in doing.
I almost got taken out, but we did not. I don't know. That was so much fun. I can't wait to do
Yep.
that again in January.
So it'll be
But,
me, Andrew, Drake, our friend Tom, and friend of the show Gary Waterworth will be
yeah.
all running in it. Joe will not be driving. If you've ever seen him
Thank
run a
God.
GT3 in this race, you will know why.
Oh Lord.
Joe, are you
Hey,
gonna run with Brandon?
I redeemed myself last year. I did
You
not
did?
crash.
Are you
I was
running with
Brandon
really
is looking for
fast.
people. If you're
I unfortunately will not
Sapphire.
be in the United States of America during race week for that.
Wow, how
Wow.
un-American of you. Where are you going?
jeez.
Yeah.
I will be in Panama for a cousin's wedding. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Lame.
I know, right?
All right.
I should just bring my PC with me.
Facts.
And final question. We'll get to this quick.
Oh, and
What is your
JT
go-to?
JT Campbell will be crew
Crew
chiefing
chiefing.
us.
of all
Oh,
time.
hell
Gotta
yeah.
give him a shout out. He's there every year
Yep.
just to hang out with the boys
King.
Yep.
and give us race
Yep.
calls.
King shit.
All right. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh.
Start with who's got one? Somebody's got one.
I've
You
got
gotta go
one.
with Hicks. Hicks is the first pick.
Hicks has got one
Hicks
for
is
sure.
just he's shaking his head. He knows it.
He already has one. He's got like 4.
My go-to is "Man, I Feel Like a Woman" by Shania.
Wow.
Nice.
Checks out. Mine's either "Friends in Low Places," classic, or "You Never Even Call Me by My Name" by David Allan Coe. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Mine would be
Oh.
Go ahead.
Puddle of Mud. She hates me just because it's so fucking easy.
Classic. Joe?
I've never done karaoke. Oh, Joe, go ahead.
Smart.
I don't do karaoke often. The last time I did it was like 6 months ago, and we did Backstreet Boys. So we'll go with that.
The only time I really do karaoke is
Solid.
when a song comes on at a tailgate or something, and you have to, it's one you have to sing out, because I don't
Yeah,
really go
I
to
don't
Just
do,
Luggage
like-
Shop that much.
I avoid it.
I don't do traditional karaoke often. Probably once every few years.
Yeah.
I think the last time I did it, I sang "Fortunate Son." I was very drunk, so it was a good time.
That's the only proper way to do karaoke, I feel like.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Sober karaoke, maybe not.
Zach, what did you have? You were about to say something.
If I would do one, it would be "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey.
Nice.
Okay.
True
I
classic.
can't not sing that song at the top of my lungs whenever it comes on the radio.
That's fair. Very wide of you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you picked country songs?
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's
fair.
Got him.
That's a good point.
My my old lady, every time that that song, the Journey song, or "Come On Eileen" comes on, she's like, "White people music."
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, you're right. And then she ends up saying, "It's like you're not white." But yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know. We got anything else, guys? I mean, it's the end of the 2023
Tom gave his
season.
answer.
What'd Tom say?
I think his name of the song was it. I don't want to lose your love tonight.
Oh yeah. No.
He
I can't
just
think of who sings it, but yeah, I know.
he just sent the lyrics. Josie's on a vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. So that's Tom's driver of one of our drivers for the 24 Hours of Daytona. Thanks, Tom.
Nah, now I gotta look this up so I can make judgment on you.
Oh, you know it. 100%.
I don't.
You'll
Maybe if I hear it.
You hear it, you'll know it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got nothing else. Sign off for the 2023 season, guys.
Yeah. Great season, folks.
Great season. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Brian, thanks for being our part-time host.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
See y'all in
So
a few months.
2024. Yeah. January, February, something.
Well, I would, speaking of the Rolex 24, I'm sure somebody will be streaming it. Come hang out
I
then.
definitely will be.
Yeah.
Do we want to?
I probably
Go
will
ahead.
be also.
Shake and Drake
Plug the
on
streams.
Twitch. Check it out. We'll be live that weekend for sure. Normally stream the whole thing, so be around for that.
We'll post it
100%.
on the GWC pod Twitter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So make sure to follow us there.
Yep. Do you guys want to do an episode for the Rolex 24, like the actual Rolex 24? I'd be down to do one after because I know
we
I'll be
might
watching.
do a one-off or two off-season little episode, depending if there's some good news to talk about or something. So maybe throw that in
we
there
do
with
one
it.
in January.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. On that note, see ya.
Bye,
See
guys.
y'all next year. Have a great holidays and great off season.
Bye.